Hello, buen dia. Good morning from Buenos Aires. My name is Georgeann. I have been living here for 4 months teaching English. It is Thursday at 8 o'clock in the morning. I have a Spanish lesson at 9 online. I have a student around 12:30 online. And then in the afternoon, I have in-person classes today. So I'm going to get ready, make my coffee, make my breakfast, and I'll take you with me as I go throughout my normal routine. So if you have any questions, put them in this box, and I'm going to be answering them throughout the day. Thanks for joining. Follow along. So I live in a house with 3 other people. One roommate is from El Salvador, one roommate is from Ecuador, and my other roommate is from the north of Argentina, from a province called Misiones. So I share a bathroom with one of my roommates, and we share a kitchen together, 3 of us. The 4th roommate lives upstairs. I'll show you the terrace here in a minute. But this is the kitchen. We've got everything we need. So oven, stove, sink, utensils, and then over here, microwave, this thing for cooking asado, and extra cookware, Tupperware, colanders, what have you. So this all was provided with the house when I got here. And this is my bedroom. So I have a table here where I eat and watch TV and relax. And then I have kind of a little desk here. Sometimes I work from here, but with one of my jobs, Open English, it's extremely important to have a completely blank background wall. So I work from here during the week when I have to work for them. Have a dresser for clothes, my bed, tight quarters, but it serves its purpose, and I've enjoyed being here so far. So this is where I keep my morning things. I'm about to start with coffee, and I have a fridge, and this is a pantry that I'm kind of scared to open. So I'm making breakfast. I'm gonna make eggs and toast, but I do not have a toaster, so I'm gonna ask my roommate to borrow his. Nico?
Hi, Georgie.
Hi. Can I use your toaster?
Yes, please.
Okay, thanks. The seasons are swapped here with the United States, so we just entered winter. It's about 60 degrees, it's sunny. The winters are mild. It probably won't drop below 40. July is the coldest month of the year, and 8 months of the year here are really hot. So there's not a definite objective answer for this, but I would say yes. It's not one of the countries that if you're just a native speaker, you can get a job easily at an institute. You can get a job as a nanny maybe, but when I was looking for jobs, I was looking on LinkedIn, on Craigslist, all over the place. And some of the jobs, like I just said, were nanny positions where people just wanted a native speaker, and it was completely fine if you don't have any credentials to teach English. But as an English teacher in the positions that I hold, I needed a TEFL certification, and I do think that it helped a lot that I have a bachelor's degree in English and a master's degree in English. So these are kind of important things to consider. If you are thinking about coming to Argentina, at least, bare minimum, I do think a TEFL certificate or the equivalent to that is necessary to get a job as a teacher here. Latin Hire is the company that hired me, but Open English is the platform that I work on through Latin Hire. I make $7 an hour if I have a class, and sometimes you don't get a class, and in that case you make $4 an hour. So it's not a lot. I have class in 20 minutes, so I'm gonna leave a breakdown of my monthly expenses on the next slide. And after class, I will come on here and kind of explain certain things. This is a rough estimate because every month is different. If I'm traveling or if I was sick one week, I make less money. If I don't work, I make less money. If I take off work, I make less money. So this is kind of an average of the past 4 months. Cost of living in Argentina is extremely inexpensive if you have a reliable source of USD and if you know how to exchange that USD. So there are two rates in Argentina, the official rate and the blue rate. More about that in the next. The official rate today and the blue dollar rate. The official rate is always double the blue dollar rate. And if you pay with your American credit card in any restaurant, any place here, you will always be paying the official rate. So a really, really important thing to do is figure out how to get that US dollar exchanged. For me, I don't make that much in USD. Most of my income comes from my pesos, the pesos that I make from the other two institutes that I work for. I prioritize those jobs over the open English job because my goal and objective here is to learn about the culture, meet students, make relations, and that's going to happen with the students that I see regularly and the students that live here and can teach me about Argentina while I teach them English. With the other job, the other platform, Open English, you don't have a steady group of students. You have new students every day. So I prioritize the jobs here. Fun fact about my language class, I actually took Spanish lessons with this institute before I moved here. So I was learning Argentine Spanish, and now I'm teaching English with the same institute. My first friend in Argentina, I actually met online. She was my Spanish professor, and I met friends through her. And I also, of course, am friends with my roommates, and I've met friends through my roommates, so really through other people. And I'm an extrovert. I'm very extrovert. Also, I'm part of a ton of Facebook groups that are specifically for expats living in Buenos Aires. So if you are planning to move here, there are so many Facebook groups that talk about, I mean, there's group activities, there's like a rugby group, there's people that just meet up to talk. There's so many ways that you can get connected with people just simply by having a Facebook. So that's a great option. I haven't used any of them yet because my roommate and I are going to Barrio Chino. So I'll show you the bus, the colectivo that we take, and I'll show you around Barrio Chino when we get there. Here in Argentina, when you want the bus to stop, you have to flag them down like this. Otherwise, they won't stop. So we've made it to Barrio Chino, and it's not as busy right now as it would be on a weekend. So we're gonna go into some shops, get some food, take some pictures. All of my in-person classes are with people younger than 14. So with those students, usually we have kind of an overarching objective that we're working towards, and I have more freedom in person to work with the student. A lot of times, since these students are younger, they're at a different energy level, and if they're at high energy, we can do activities, physical activities, we can play games, and if they're at a low energy level, we can do videos. But I definitely have a lot more freedom in those in-person classes. With my online classes, I overplan, and that's something that a lot of new teachers do just in general, but I overplan because my biggest fear is getting 48 minutes into a lesson and running out of things to talk about and things to teach. So because of this terrifying thought, I always have too much information. I always have to say, okay, next class we'll talk about this. And it's been a really good thing. It's never a bad idea to overplan. My favorite course that I teach is a conversation course. It's a group class for intermediate level English speakers. So I get to plan really fun conversation topics, and I'm going to show you some of the PowerPoints that I've made for that. So some of the different topics that we've discussed in class, each class meeting we have a new topic. So one of them was work. We've talked about authority, what makes a person credible. We had a discussion about travel, where we've been, where we want to go. One of the classes was themed around toasts, and at the end of class, everybody had to give a short toast. We did a course about pick-me-ups, what you do when you're feeling down. All About Me class, where we learned how to kind of talk about our interests, what we like, what we're doing. And another class about taking risks. I'm on my way to my in-person classes, so I'm headed to the bus stop. Gotta cross the street. This is a whole line of just a bunch of different bus stops. The bus stops look like this, and you can tell which ones you're going to here. Oh, no, this side. I'm looking for 108. And they come here, and you flag them down, and you're on the bus. So I just got back from class, and I thought, what better way to end my takeover than by making some mate and telling you what I love most about Argentina. So we're going to prepare the mate together. That sound you hear is water boiling. So I'm getting that ready, and while we wait, I'll tell you a little bit about why I love it here. Mate is a special drink here in Argentina, but it's more than a drink. It's an excuse to spend time together and to talk. When you share mate with somebody, you're sitting down, you're passing time, you're hanging out, and I think it's one of the coolest traditions I've ever been a part of in my life. And this is a bombilla. It's a special type of straw, because mate is kind of like a tea. It's not a tea, and it's not coffee, it's mate. But it's like herbs. So I'm gonna put the herbs in the mate. This is the mate. This is the yerba when you're drinking. The city of Buenos Aires is incredible. It's beautiful. There's so much history. It's just, it's laced with history. And the people have been so welcoming to me. And that's kind of my biggest takeaway here in Argentina, is that every person that I've met has welcomed me, invited me in, and been happy to have me here. Argentina has invited me in a way that my home country doesn't and wouldn't do for other people. And that's what makes me feel the most at home here. It makes me feel like I'm